So now, did we cover the golden rule of freedom yet? Did I tell you what that is? I'm sorry, I'm just going here. I want to make sure we talk about this. All right, now there's a difference between rights and privileges. Rights and privileges. All right. Rights are inherent to free people. If you have no rights, you're a slave. Inherent means to be a defining quality. All right? Heavy is a defining quality of lead. It's inherent. You can't take the heavy out of the lead. Otherwise it wouldn't be lead, it'd be a feather or whatever, you know, something else. So if you take the rights out of the free person, they're no longer a free person. It's a defining quality. All right, you're a slave if you have no rights. Now, rights are irrevocable, but you can consent your right away. I have the right not to self-incriminate, but if I want, I can rat myself out. I don't take the fifth. I'd like to talk, Your Honor. So you can consent your rights away. Or you can retain your rights. You can exercise your rights. Now, I'm talking about how do you consent your rights away? That's what we do. And the reason we consent our rights away is because that's what we've been taught to do. Now, anytime, here's the golden rule. Never, ever, 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 under any circumstances, ask permission to exercise your rights. Ever. Because the second you do, you, by your own mouth, have converted your right into a privilege which can be revoked by the grantor of the privilege. And if I'm asking you if it's okay for me to sit in that chair, I'm giving you all my power. I'm giving you the power to say yes or no. Isn't that correct? That's right. And I'll tell you what, the reason I don't have the right to sit in that chair is because I don't own the chair. I have to get a permission. All right, I got to get permission from somewhere else. So all rights are derived from the ownership of property. That's where rights come from, the ownership of property. And I'll tell you what, I own my body. And I bet if I asked everyone here, they would pretty much agree that they own their body too. So if you own your body, who decides what food you eat? I mean, it's almost that simple, right? Who decides what food you eat? So your diet's your privacy. Don't consent your rights away. Never ask permission to exercise your rights. The only way to retain a right is to exercise it. If you don't exercise it, you don't have it. And sometimes we're in these situations where we feel uncomfortable because if I exercise my rights, you know, everyone's going to look at me weird. Yeah, you just gotta, you gotta get through those uncomfortable situations and do what you know to be is right, and fall in love with your farmer. And if you have to go to jail, so be it. Because you got one farmer and you maybe got 100 consumers or 200 or 50 or whatever it is, and I'm telling you, if they want to take someone out, they're going to go after the farmer because they're easy targets. All right, we're losing farmers by the day in this country, probably by the hour. And the consumers need to fall in love with their farmers and step up and band together. And let me tell you about Michael Schmidt from Canada before we bring this in for a landing. All right? I don't even like to use the word consumer, but that's the only word I know. But to me it sounds really cheap. But his consumers are in love with him. All right? When the Canadian government came after, I mean, they got organized. Michael, we're going to jail with you. You're our breast. Goo goo gaga. Yeah. You're our whole world. Because when my food is cut off, life isn't worth living anymore. Because I don't want to eat at McDonald's. He's got this big blue bus. And he makes his deliveries with the big blue bus, right? And can you imagine this scene? You know, this is going on, like, as we speak. You know, this is 2011, 2010. But this isn't 15, 20 years ago. Like, as we speak. It might be going on right now. Probably not, because his case already got settled. But actually, he won the case, got acquitted on 19 charges, and now the Canadian government's appealing the case after he gets acquitted. So right now, his case is kind of in limbo, where he's not under direct fire. But when he was under direct fire, you know how organized they got in Canada? We can take a lesson from these people. They got the blue bus making the milk delivery, and they got 2 cars in front of the blue bus with consumers, 2 cars behind it, and they're driving that way 2 hours all the way from the farm to the drop point. Oh, wow. With military precision. I'm telling you, I take my hat off to them. Applaud them. You know? And he's telling the story how they're doing all this. And then the man showed up on the milk drop. And all the consumers bound together and locked arms and surrounded the bus. And Michael's telling this story. And everyone, you know, I'm in the audience like you are now, and I'm there, and I'm like, yeah, yeah! And the government that day did not get their way. Because they were unwilling to break the locked people's arms. Because there's cameras everywhere, and they didn't want that one on YouTube. They didn't want that one on YouTube. So, thanks for being here. Thanks for your passion. But let's really bring this thing to the next level. Let's learn to fall in love with our farmer, and let's read the Constitution. I'm telling you right now, you're going to leave today and say, reading the Constitution really isn't going to make a difference. But I'm telling you right now it is. And this is why. Alright, I've been in the situation of standing up for your rights and how uncomfortable it is. And how scary it is. Alright? But now I can do it a lot easier. With less fear and with more education, because I know more what I'm talking about than I did 2 years ago. Alright? And let me tell you, if you've ever been in sales, because I'm basically selling the government on why they should leave me alone. If you've ever been in sales, you know that if you're informed on your product, you have the confidence you can sell anyone in the world. Alright, we got to get informed about the Constitution, and we got to be able to recite the 9th Amendment. Bam! 9th Amendment. What's the 9th Amendment? It's the most important amendment in the Constitution. I'm going to bring it to a close after I describe it. We'll just open it up to talk. Alright, the 9th Amendment. The founding fathers, you can imagine this, a couple hundred years ago, freedom of religion, freedom of this, can't testify this and that, and then, you know, there's Thomas Jefferson, they're together, and one of them got his ass itched, and he started scratching. He's like, wait a minute, I got the right to scratch my ass when it itches. And I got the right to cut my hair short, and we're going to be here for a long time enumerating all these different rights we have. The list never ends. So they brought the Bill of Rights into a close with the 9th Amendment. Well, the 10th Amendment is pretty much the same as the 9th Amendment, but it's with regards to the states instead of the people. And so here's what the Constitution says in the 9th Amendment. The enumeration of certain rights in this Constitution cannot be construed to deny or disparage other rights retained by the people. What does that mean? I read it and I'm like so confused. What does this mean? And here's what it means. Just because the Constitution doesn't specifically say X, you have the right to do it, doesn't mean that you don't have the right to do it.
That's right.
So the Constitution doesn't specifically say that Max can shave his hair short because it was down on my shoulders a month ago. Doesn't say that in the Bill of Rights. But you better believe it's my right. And it's secured by the 9th Amendment. Alright? So, the 9th Amendment makes our rights pretty much limitless, as long as we're not infringing on the rights of another person. So, can anyone sue me in court and claim damages because I cut my hair? Of course not. Can anyone sue me in court because I like eating raw chicken? And I do, believe it or not. Can they claim damages and show, you know, that I should pay them in a judgment because I hurt them because I'm eating raw chicken? They can't. So that's the way our government, the Constitution was set up. It was founded on the premise of live and let live. Live and let live. It was founded on the premise of the ownership of property and on privacy. Live and let live, and it's just that simple. Thanks for listening.